everyone, so this is my video presentation for my research paper. Throughout the semester I've been studying Ireland, and I chose Ireland because it represents a portion of my own ethnic background. So I had the opportunity to work a little bit with Sarah, who's studying Switzerland, and I don't know a whole lot about Switzerland, so I thought this would be a great opportunity for discovering any distinct cultural differences between the two. So my samples of media included two national newspapers. From Ireland, I chose the Irish Times, which is a broadsheet, and from Switzerland, I chose 20 Minuten, which is a German language tabloid. So my theme is the coverage of impact resulting from a global pandemic. I chose the current events surrounding the coronavirus because it's a highly covered topic in the news right now, and it gave me a lot of good information to work with. So my three variables or levels of impact are national, societal, and global impact. National impact measures the status of the economy, the workforce, and the medical industry within that specific country and how each news outlet covered that. Societal impact measures any change in processes of socialization, as well as any new cultural stereotypes that have arisen. And then global impact is basically the international impact of the pandemic, and that involves a lot of updates and reports of statistical data between the two newspapers. So in general, my comparisons yielded a bit more similarities than differences. The economy and the medical industry were key elements covered by each in terms of national impact. The presence of and dismissal of cultural stereotypes were covered almost identically in both newspapers. There were articles in each that advocated for the Asian community due to negative Asian stereotypes that have arisen from the coronavirus. There were also articles that criticized or even ridiculed American culture and government for their handling of the situation. So I thought that was interesting to see the balance of dismissing stereotypes and then welcoming others in articles. So that was just interesting. My main conclusion that I've drawn from these comparisons is that media philosophies definitely dominated the content published in these newspapers. So Ireland is sort of governed by a libertarian media philosophy, meaning a lot of media is privately owned, free from government influence. The Irish Times is actually owned by the Irish Times Trust, so they're kind of their own separate media entity. And this definitely influenced the content published in the Irish Times. A lot of content was full of opinion and emotion regarding the coronavirus, so that was just really interesting to see. Switzerland, they're governed by a more social responsibility philosophy, and you could definitely see that because they're a very health literate society, which is something they pride themselves on, and that was clear in their publishing of content in 20 Minuten because a lot of the articles were focused on medical research. So that was a really interesting takeaway as well. I explain a little bit more about that in my paper. So that pretty much concludes the end of my presentation. I'm really excited to see the ideas you guys have tackled in your final papers. So thanks.